tribe, how y'all doing? Excuse me. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Southern Charm, season 1, episode 7. Now next week is the season finale, so that's interesting. So we're only gonna get 8 episodes, but let's go ahead and jump into this episode. So the episode starts off with Tameka at home. She's having back problems again, and her friend Susan comes by. And they proceed to have a conversation. Susan has some concerns about, they're talking about the kids. And Susan is having some concerns about, first of all, I like Susan. Susan is going to keep it real all day, every day. And I'm going to tell you why I really like Susan, because Susan was saying how she doesn't like the term African American. And I don't either. I have a problem with it. I don't like it. I don't like using it. And she doesn't either. So I was like, thank you. Somebody with kindred spirits. But she was talking to Tameka about, she was saying that Tameka's daughter is having some color issues, some colorism issues, and she called it color dysmorphia. Because she was saying how, and they were talking about the fact that her daughter's in an all-white school. She's the only black girl in her class. Well, she said the whole school, but I don't know if it's the whole school or her class, but either way, the only black girl. And how she's been having some problems at school, which may account for her attitude last week and some things spilling over last week. And you know, if you remember where Barry said that every time she goes to a party she comes back upset, and we find out later on in the episode that kids are making comments to her about her hair, and you know, just things that kids say, and kids can be cruel, and you know, so but Susan was trying to explain to Tameka, but look at, she even showed her a picture where, and this is something that they do in therapy for little kids, like draw a picture of your family. And the way that the child will portray the family says a lot about what the child's perception is about the family and their role in the family. And in the picture, what Susan was saying is Tameka looks like a white woman, and it's very clear that her daughter is a black girl with her hair up in a ponytail. And she was saying that, you know, your daughter is having some color issues and we really need to address it. And ultimately, you know, Tameka don't never want to hear criticism. Tameka never wants to hear that anything is not perfect. And she was like, no, she doesn't. That picture looks fine. I don't see any color problems in that picture. Everything is great. Everything's perfect. And Susan was like, Tameka ain't gonna never see where anything is wrong. And her thing was, you know, she don't have to admit that there's an issue. I know she's not going to take her child out of the school. Not saying she should either, but maybe she should expose her daughter to some other activities where she can be around other black kids. You know, put her in a local Girl Scout troop that's a predominantly black Girl Scout troop. Put her on a basketball team. Put her in an aerobics class. Put her in a swimming class where she's not the only black girl, you know. And I think that's all Susan was trying to get across to Tameka, and Tameka wasn't receiving it. Or at least I don't feel like Tameka received it. Maybe she did, but I don't feel like Tameka received it. She sort of acquiesced towards the end of the conversation, but I still don't feel like she said it like she meant it, if that makes sense. So then we see then we see Jeff shopping. Jeff and Reagan are having a party. They're having an Easter party. So this takes place around Easter. And Jeff, well, we know that because Mardi Gras. So, you know, the season started with Mardi Gras. So Reagan and Jeff are having an Easter party the Saturday before Easter. And so Jeff is at the liquor store getting liquor, shopping for the wine and that kind of stuff. And he was like, you know, I'm the hunter and gatherer. He was like, I buy all the stuff, Reagan cooks it. Like, that's how we do. That's how we roll. We love to give parties. We love to entertain. However, he made a comment where he said, because we're still dealing with the fact that she's in the French Quarter. So he made a comment about, and I don't think he made it at that exact moment. He might have made it later on in the episode. But one of the things he said was, I really, you know, I love to plan a party as much as the next person, but I really wish that we would spend this time together, not entertaining other people, you know, not having this party. And he also made a comment like, that's the only reason why she's coming home is to have this party. It's like she's coming home to have this party just to go back to the French Quarter. So he's still having a really big issue with her being in the French Quarter, which I would too, and I've already addressed it, so I ain't gonna rehash all of that. But Justin said, because remember at the beginning of the season, we see how far they live outside of the city. And so Justin ends up meeting Jeff at the place. And Justin was like, well, law school is hard. And that's a hell of a commute. And he was like, I kind of understand her needing her own space. It can be a lot, and she's at the top of her class and she's really excelling, and it's kind of coming down to the wire towards the end where it's time to, not only are you getting ready for final exams at the end of law school, but you're getting ready to take the bar as well, and that's a lot of pressure. And so Justin excuse me, having gone to law school was kind of like, I get it, like I understand it, I get it, but Justin's also the same person that ain't really trying to marry his girlfriend. So you know when it comes to marriage, you know. Anyway, so then we see Barry at the gym. We meet Barry's brother, Ed, and Barry proceeds to have a conversation with Ed about the whole Gian situation. And what we find out is not only has Gian sort of cut ties with Barry on the business end, but she stopped coming for her training sessions. She doesn't call Barry anymore. And Barry's thing was, I understand her cutting ties with me from the business side, but I thought we were friends. And friends make mistakes. And friends do things that the other friend doesn't always like. But I apologized. I admitted that I was wrong. I took full responsibility for what I did. And as my friend, I don't understand why she's cut ties with me. And you could tell he's a little hurt by it and sort of confused as well. So that was that conversation. Then we see everybody getting ready for the party. Barry and Tameka get there first. Barry and Tameka seem like they're prompt because Reagan mom wasn't even dressed yet. Reagan mama was like, I ain't even dressed yet. We see Justin and Kelsey, and they stop to get flowers and, bring something to the party. I like Justin because Justin said he didn't want to come empty-handed. But here's my problem. So they're at a flower shop, and of course there's something that says something about weddings. And Kelsey was like, oh, look, wedding flowers. And Justin is like, oh, shit, here we go. And Kelsey was like, well, at some point you're going to have to deal with this. Like, we're going to have to discuss this at some point. And he was like, sure, but can we not do it today? Which, I get it. But, see, I have mixed feelings on the whole thing because you can't pressure somebody into marrying you, nor should you want to. Kelsey, if he's not doing what you want him to do, you have to be willing to walk away. And I'm speaking from personal experience. Like, I haven't always been that person either. I've evolved and I've grown into this. Like, when I was in my 20s, I didn't walk away either. I tried to make a circle fit into a square. You understand what I'm saying? So I get it. But either you cool with where you and Justin are in y'all's relationship or you're not. And if you're ready for marriage, I think he's been very clear that he's not ready for that. He sees it in the future. He just don't know how far into the future. So you can't keep dropping hints and making little comments because you see how it makes him uncomfortable because he's not ready to have that conversation. But you got to make a decision. Is this somebody you want to be with? If you're ready to get married, then you need to go find that person that's ready to get married. Because I think he's been clear that he ain't that person. Everybody's at the party. Everybody comes to the party. All the players are, I don't need to go down the list, but everybody's at the party. Here comes Gian. John invited Gian. And Reagan said that John said he was bringing a friend. And Reagan was like, I thought he was just bringing the flavor of the week. But here comes Gian. Excuse me, y'all. So, of course, Barry and Tameka are both looking side-eye at Gian showing up to the party like, oh, here she is, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, rewind. We do have a scene where John and Gian are out looking for a venue for this event that they're going to have. And John is so fucking arrogant. Oh, he's so arrogant. He was like, I'm giving them an experience. I mean, you're going to get the John Moody experience, and it just can't be ordinary. And I get it. Know your worth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect the fuck out of the fact you know your worth. You know who you are. And you are confident in who you are. But so there's a thin line between confidence and arrogance. And I think sometimes John crosses the line from confident to arrogant. But, okay. So, Monique sort of saddles up to Reagan and lets Reagan know that she is not happy about Gian being at the party. And I'm going to give Reagan a shout out because Reagan is a real friend. Reagan is a G. Reagan was like, you want me to tell her to leave? I mean, if you don't want her here, you want me to tell her to leave? See, that's a friend. And Tameka hesitated, but Tameka said no. Nah, I don't want you to do all of that. And Tamika's like, but at some point I'm going to have to talk to her. And Reagan was like, well, can you wait till after dinner? Because again, once again, we're at an event and Tamika feels like she has to create a scene. That's not the time or the place. Like, if you want to talk to Gian, call her. Say, let's go to lunch. I want to talk to you for a minute. But Reagan is like, can you not make a scene at my fucking party again? Because remember, that's how this whole thing started with Barry calling that dude out his name to begin with, is at one of Reagan's events. So it was a cute little party. Everybody looked really nice. Everybody was dressed nice. My girl Susan showed up in a really comfortable caftan, and she was like, "That is how you show up to a party the day before Easter, because we supposed to be getting comfortable and eating some crawfish. So all this wearing suits and bow ties and Easter hats," she was like, no. But excuse me. They had an Easter egg hunt, but they had like adult Easter egg hunt because they had liquor, and then they had some gag gifts. They had like lube and condoms and pregnancy tests. Like, it was cute. That was a cute little fun activity. That's something I could see myself doing, like an adult Easter egg hunt. That's cute. Then they played croquet, and once again, John, our hand coordination games ain't your thing. Like, you couldn't hit the golf ball. You couldn't hit the croquet ball. Either you need glasses and you're in denial and you're not wearing your glasses. I know all about that. Or you have no eye-hand coordination. Like you can run and swim and play basketball. Like, you can do all those other sports. But the sport that involves that's not your thing, boo. That's not your thing. So at some point at the party, Barry pulls Gian aside to talk to her. And he tells her, he's like, look, I get that you no longer want to do business with me, but I thought we were friends, and I feel like you're cutting me out as a friend. I feel like you're cutting me off as a friend, and I don't understand that. Like, you're not coming for your training sessions anymore. We don't talk anymore. And I just have I don't get it. Like, I really don't understand why that is. And Gian, once again, she keeps going back to that whole situation with Barry calling that guy his name. And I get the business piece of it. I get you saying you don't want to deal with this person on a business level. But if y'all were really friends, again, friends are not perfect. Friends make mistakes. Friends do things wrong. Is what he did so unforgivable? And maybe it is. To you, it clearly is, because you have cut him totally off. Tameka is being messy again and making comments. She got one of the gag gifts was a ring at the Easter egg hunt. So she tells Kelsey, here's a ring. Here's a ring for you. And Kelsey was like, oh, Tameka proposed to me. And Tameka's talking about I do something that Justin doesn't have the balls to do. There you go, being messy again. That's not your fucking business. And again, he's been clear that that's something that he's real sensitive about. Like, it's clear that that's a sensitive situation, because y'all done already had an argument about it before. Let it go. Either he is or he isn't gonna propose to this woman. But either way, it ain't your business. It's not your situation. Stop it, Tameka. Stop it. But again, Tameka's one of those people, but I'm just being real. I'm just being real. Whatever. So, I want to say they had dinner. Yeah, okay. Because I'm trying to remember if the toast anyway. So they had dinner, and Jeff gave this really great toast about how, this has been a really hard year for him, and how, Easter is a time to spend with family, and how he sees everybody there as family, and he's thankful that they're there, and that they've been riding with him through this year, through this difficult, situation this year that he's gone through. And then Tameka starts talking about, she starts crying, and of course everybody's like, well, what's wrong? Why are you crying? And she was like, it's just so emotional. Like, I'm just thinking about my daughter and the problems she's having at school. And I'm just like, how do we get, again, maybe editing, maybe something happened in between, but how do we get from Jeff's toast to you? And how did it become about you? I don't get it. But I will say this, it ended up being a very good conversation. I will say that. Because I think her name is Rachel, the one who her husband played in the NFL. She was there as well. And she was saying that her daughter has been dealing with some of the same issues because her daughter goes to a private school as well, where she's the only black girl. And she talked about how there's some issues there. And it did end up being a really good conversation about the whole colorism and the kids identifying and being in a white environment, but still understanding being, I don't want to say being black, but like they were talking about the hair issue, and the daughter was saying she didn't understand why she couldn't wear her hair out like her classmates. And her mama was like, because when you wake up from nap time, your hair gonna be looking crazy, and I'm not there to fix it. So no, you can't wear your hair down. Like, some real valid situations that a child who's just seeing white girls around her and their hair and just different things. So it ended up being a good conversation. I just ain't understand how we got there. Unless the producers told Tameka, look, bring that back up. Find a way to bring that back up. Like, I don't know. But it did end up being a really good conversation. So then after dinner, well, that's when Barry actually had the conversation with Gian, was after dinner. But later on, John is also talking. John and Sonny are talking. And remember, Gian sits on the board of Sonny's charity. And, Sonny was like, Gian's good people. She's really done some great things. She's helped out with the board. She's brought some great things to the table. He's giving her some props or whatever. And John is talking about how they're going to be doing some work together. I feel like Sonny wanted to say more, but he didn't. I feel like he kind of wanted to add a little 2 cents to it, but he kind of left it alone. And I could be wrong, but that's just the impression I got. Well, Tameka pulls Gian aside to talk to her. Gian got Tameka all the way together. Now, let me say this. I don't like the way Gian is handling this situation. I think she's overreacting, and I think that if Barry was ever a friend... See, what it seems to me now, though, is maybe Gian never looked at Barry as a friend. Maybe Gian always looked at Barry as just her trainer, who occasionally she saw outside of the gym, and they were looking at doing some business together. Maybe Barry saw it as more of a friendship, because I can't imagine that you really truly saw Barry as a friend and you could just throw it away over this. But again, maybe that's not how she ever saw their relationship. So Tameka is talking to her, and Tameka's basically saying the same thing Barry said was, I just don't understand how you could totally kick him to the curb over, he made a mistake. He apologized for the mistake. Like, why can't you just accept his apology and, move on? And Gian's thing was, I don't have to. She was like, I heard what he said. I didn't like what he said. And I don't have to accept his apology. And I don't have to deal with him anymore. Which, that's, again, lends me to feel like she never saw him as a friend. She saw him as someone that she did business with. Now, Tameka, I was a little bit with you, because as that was your husband, so maybe you felt like you had to defend your husband. So I was a little bit with you. But here's where you lost me altogether, Tameka. Then you bring in John. And you bring in the fact that she's doing business with John. And she was like, I just feel like you're an opportunist because, first you were trying to do business with my husband. Now you're doing business with John. And I just feel like you're being an opportunist. And you're just jumping to, the next thing or the whatever. I didn't see it like that. I really didn't. And even if I did, that wasn't your place to say it. That wasn't your place to bring it up. That wasn't your place to put that in there. Like, that just wasn't appropriate. That wasn't your place. And the whole John situation, I just feel like you went way out into left field. Like, that just wasn't appropriate. It certainly wasn't the appropriate time, but I just didn't feel like that was your place to have that conversation. And Gian let you know. Gian told you straight up. She was like, see, this your problem. This is inappropriate. This is why your husband has the problems that he has now. That's why he got in trouble that night, because he was defending you, because you were out of pocket, because you were doing something, being messy, and he had to defend you, and that's how he got in his trouble in the first place. And that's the problem. She said, and that's why I don't even, and that's why I don't even like dealing with him. And Tameka was like, what? Well, what are you talking about? What? She was like, well, that's my husband, and at least I'm married. And Gian was like, you know what? That's the difference between me and you. I knew when my marriage was over. And got up and walked away. I said, oh, bitch. She got Tameka all the way together. Okay? She told Tameka, you messy, You in somebody else. You in business that don't belong to you, and that's why your husband in the is in the mess that he's in. And I'm not gonna necessarily say I agree with the example that she used, but I certainly do feel like Tameka is messy. I do, you know. But yeah, so that's kind of how where that ended. And then we see, I think that was, oh, so Gian let everybody know that she was getting ready to leave, and Gian was talking to Justin, and she was telling Justin, Tameka said, I'm an opportunist and that I'm this and I'm that. And Justin was like, it was so funny because the look on Justin's face was so damn serious. Justin was like in his confessional, Justin was like, I don't understand how Gian is the opportunist when Barry needed Gion's money for this business that he wanted to do, and Gian probably make more than everybody at that table. I said, oh, well, there it is. And that's what, and it makes sense that Barry had the idea but needed the financing. And that's what Justin said. Justin said that Gian was going to be the financing for Barry's business. And like I said, I understood from a business point of view, I 100% understood why Gian was like, I can't rock with you. I just didn't understand if they were truly friends. But again, what it seems to me is they're not friends. And Gian never saw their relationship like that. Like, that's just the impression I'm getting. And I could be wrong. Y'all let me know how y'all feel like in them comments. That's pretty much all they gave us. And then we saw a scene with Jeff and Reagan where Jeff is basically telling her that he misses her and he wants her to come home and it is really hard for him. And, she was like, I'm doing this for us. I still don't understand how you getting a second houses for them, is for y'all. But maybe she really truly feels like they need that space in order to fix their relationship. I don't know. But that's all we pretty much got this week. Y'all let me drop it in them comments. Y'all let me know. I don't know. Anyway, it wasn't that explosive, but y'all let me know what y'all think. Peace.